important is the alignment from top to bottom in this phase two, and how would you compare it to the last 3 years?
Yeah, so I think we've been aligned the last 3 years, and I think it's like that's a risk. Anytime you make a change, there's a risk that you stop being aligned. And I think I said this when I first got the job 3 years ago. Alignment from top to bottom is hugely important. The teams and organizations that have struggled are the ones where you got one guy pulling this way and one guy pulling that way, and everything just ends up being a mess. I'm certainly aligned with Tillman. And it's going to be imperative on us to make sure that alignment continues with our new coach, and all the way down to all of our players and our staff and everything else. And so I actually think that fundamentally that's as important as anything else out there, and it's something I'll be very cognizant of as we go through this process.
We're going to take 3 more. Mark.
Rafael, when you started this process to now, how would you quantify or label where y'all are at, or where you want to get?
Yeah, so I think, I've said this before, I think we're at the end of kind of stage one. We, looking back at my tenure, when I took over, it was very much in a time of flux, and I had no idea which way we were going, up, down. It was very much about kind of what's going to end up making the most sense. A couple years into that, we made some huge trades, and our direction became pretty certain, right? And at the end of that year, very certain. And at that point, I think I kind of laid out for you guys kind of a roadmap. We're gonna rebuild. We're gonna be very young. We're gonna be exciting. We're gonna jump very high. We did those things. But that's not gonna be infinite. It's not gonna last forever. And I think we're reaching the end of that stage. Not to say we're gonna somehow become the oldest team in the NBA next year, but we're not. I mean, the team, like in terms of minutes played, I think we might have been end of the year as like the youngest team ever, and we're not going to be that next year. And so I think we're kind of hitting in a natural way the next stage of kind of the rebuild, which is like adding in veterans, trying to be materially more competitive, and I think that's where we're going. It feels very much to me like we're on track, but you got to do it, right? You got to do it. And so this offseason is going to be very important to us. We're going to have some big decisions to make in free agency. Those are going to be important decisions. We're going to have some big important decisions around the draft and around all the trades that happen at draft time. Those are going to be important decisions for us. So yeah, that's where I feel like we're at.